Welcome to Conscious Flower, my little corner of the internet. My name is Lydia and I'll be talking about all things planty, sustainable, and otherwise earthy topics. Today I'll be talking about my favorite plants for the month of August, and I have some really exciting finds. A lot of them are really common and affordable, at least in my area of the world. However, I do have some that are a little bit harder to get and more on the uncommon side. So with that, I'm going to get into my first one. To start the show, we have my Hoya Carnosa. This is two different variegations. So here you can see the Hoya Princess. She wears the gown, as well as the Hoya Crimson Queen, which is one of these leaves. I have a couple cuttings in here. This is mostly the princess, but the queen wears the crown, which is the white on the outer edge, as you can see here. And then we even have some that are almost no variegation at all, just a little bit of speckling. I really love this plant. She puts out a lot of different growth. She will just pop out a couple leaves at a time and they're really cute and baby and small. Like here we have a tiny one up here next to this all white leaf, which she may eventually probably drop because there's no green chlorophyll to sustain her. But I just really love all the different patterns together. I feel like the queen and the princess together add some really interesting texture, which I really like. Here's another queen cutting with the princess. And so it's been a really fun plant for me to watch her grow and just cheer her along the way. Next up we have this little funny guy. This is a Tradescantia mixed, another mixed planter. This one is the Tradescantia baby bunny bellies. I'll have the scientific name down in the corner of the screen. But this is a really fuzzy Tradescantia. It's really pretty. It has the purple on the back of the leaves and the green on the front. And I really love just touching it. She has some really adorable growth. She will just pop out a bunch of stalks. She does not stop growing. I got this as a tiny cutting from my friend and it has grown like mad ever since. I've given cuttings to other friends as well as like chopped and propped to make this a fuller plant. We also have a little bit of a different fuzzy Tradescantia here. This is the sillamontana, I believe, or sillamontana. I'll have that name at the bottom of the screen as well. But this one is also really stunning. She's a little bit less drought tolerant than the fuzzy bunny bellies, but still good, she's still kicking. She's got a couple stems as well. That was a cutting from my same friend. Thanks, Anna. And I've just been love seeing her grow. I have another couple cuttings that I'm going to be popping back into this pot to make it even fuller. I also love seeing the clear pots. You can see the roots down here. They're pretty fine, so it might be a little hard to tell. But they're really pretty and it's a very satisfying plant to watch grow and just take over my plant room. So she is my favorite, number 2 this month. Next up we have another variegated plant following number 1's footsteps, and this is my why am I blinking? This is my variegated string of hearts. She is stunning. She has been growing like absolute mad. I got her the beginning of the summer, probably May, end of May. And she has just been zooming down. I keep trimming her back. You can see there's a few stumps back up here where I've chopped and propagated her, given to friends. There's a theme. I really love chopping and propagating. But she has some stunning giant ones at the top. I did find this, I think, in upstate New York, which is a bit of a drive for me. But she has been absolutely stunning. You can see when they're growing in a lot of light, they turn this beautiful pink color on the outside of the leaves and the backs. And then they can revert to normal string of hearts or Ceropegia linearis Woodii. I do believe, yeah, this strand has more that are unvariegated now down at the bottom, so they started growing with a little bit less light, which I don't mind at all. I'll probably end up chopping that at some point, and then maybe I'll add that string back in. This was a propagation I added back in, so there are a lot of fun cuttings in here, and I'm excited to see her continue to trail and just take over my little plant cart. Again, the growth on here is extremely cute. It has these little baby hearts, so that's always very satisfying to see come in. This one's got a little runner with the hearts at the bottom. So she is another one of my favorites this month. I've just been staring at her from across my bedroom and admiring her because she is so very pretty. Some more baby hearts here. This is my variegated Hoya, no, not Hoya, variegated string of hearts. There we go. Next up, we have a plant I was eyeing up for a few months before I could find. This is a Syngonium Microphylla. This is a frosted heart syngonium, if you've heard of it. It was pretty hard to find as of this winter in my area. However, as the spring and summer have rolled by, it's been a lot easier to come by, and I've seen it in a few shops now, which is really fun so that more people can have this plant. I have taken a cutting and given it to a friend. That cutting is now putting out growth and doing well, so it is pretty speedy to propagate. I got this back in, I think, May or June, so to have a cutting already putting out new growth in soil is pretty impressive. She has been sitting in a north-facing window in my apartment, but since moving this last month now, she has gotten a south-facing window, which she is really enjoying. She's putting out a lot more blondie variegated foliage, which is really stunning to see. I like having kind of a variation, naturally, between the dark leaves and the light leaves, which is really fun to see compared to maybe some of these darker leaves that came out in my apartment, or even maybe before I even got her, versus these really pale, fun, variegated leaves. So it's been really fun to see her transform in the new space, and having all the plants in the room, especially a room with so much more light, is very fun to see, and it's really rewarding to see her just growing everywhere. She's getting kind of heavy. I got her in, I believe, a 6-inch pot, and she's now in like a 7.5-inch pot. Yeah, she's got a bunch of growth points, I think like 5 or 6, so she's always spurting out new growth. I'm excited to see her continue to just take over the pot. Oh my god, we have a little baby shoot in here too. You can see in there. So very cute. Very baby. Love her. Doing so good. Then I have another one from the same nursery as the last plant. This is a Hoya Macrophylla or Latifolia. I've heard some discourse about what the actual genus name is, or if they're changing it. So I should be covered with both of those names. But this is the albomarginata, or the variegated one, on the outside variegation. And I had this on my wish list for a while, and I was really wanting it for a couple months. And then I finally found it in person, and I scooped her up right away. And then later I kind of fell out of love with her. I didn't love the trellis setup at first. It wasn't the right staging for her. However, she has been putting out so much growth lately. She's been catching my eye all the time. I also recently took a cutting off of her, and that is rooting up really nicely, so that's always really satisfying. But I have a couple favorite leaves on this gal. She has this incredibly variegated one. It's really vanilla-y and limey, so that's stunning. Right next to that we have another really big leaf, and it's starting to get red on the edges from a bit of the sun stress. She sits pretty close to a grow light, so she's getting quite a bit of light at least 12 hours a day, every day, and so that's really stunning. This one is even getting a little bit of splashing, it looks like, on the outside, or on the inside, and then it's getting the reddish edges on the outside, which is really, really stunning. I don't want to spill any dirt on my bed, but I do want to show you these leaves. So she's really, really pretty, and she's been putting out some even bigger leaves. And I'm hoping I could really size her up. Like, the one back here is pretty big. I know there are Hoya Latifolia, like, dinner plate ones, and those are really stunning. I've seen those in person, and they are thick. But I'm hoping I can get her to a little bit of a beefier stage. So I'm excited to see her continue to grow, and then I might eventually get her a bigger trellis or size it up, since she is getting tendrils up at the top. Hopefully you can see, but she has been a beauty. I've been staring at her across the room as well and just admiring her thick foliage. So yeah, a very fun find, a Hoya Latifolia or Hoya Macrophyllum. Either way, you should be covered. Last up, and certainly not least, is my giant Pothos, golden Pothos. She's got a mix of a little bit of neon in there. I think there's one cutting of a Baltic Blue, which is also an Epipremnum. The scientific name for this baddie is Epipremnum, aurem, and then golden Pothos. And then there are a bunch of different variegations of those Pothos, and I do collect those as well. It is my favorite species is Epipremnum aurem, because this is the first baby I could keep alive. I was obsessed with plants for a lot of years, but I couldn't care for them well. And then eventually, when I moved into my last apartment, I got some plants with my roommate, and he helped me a little bit get my obsession started inadvertently. But he did help me with some tips of how to keep it alive and making sure that it did not die, which is always fun to see a plant thrive in your care and at least survive. So this is the plant I learned how to do all of my plant care with. I learned how to propagate with this beauty. She has been with me for the last 2 whole years. We celebrated 2-year anniversary last month, which is really exciting. So she is one of my absolute favorites. Last year she did get mealy over the summer. She had a very intense mealy bug infestation last July, which was devastating emotionally. But I was able to treat it and get the mealies eradicated after about 2 months, which was exhausting. But other than that, this has been such an easy and forgiving plant and absolutely one of my favorites. Right now I have her growing up these 2 little trellis hoops. These are just little bamboo stakes I got off of, I believe, the internet. Really inexpensive, but I have them tied together so that they can climb up a little bit. And kind of an interesting way to display this plant rather than just having her trail and get smaller leaves. But yeah, she has a lot of different growth. There is some of that golden, like marbly ones. Not the marble queen, just marbled leaves. And so those are really pretty. Some that are just more of that like classic jade color. And then I don't know where that Baltic Blue is. It might be this little guy down here. That would make sense. But yeah, we do have some neon in here. Like this color is the lemon lime or neon pothos. Yeah, very full, very heavy pot at this point. Started out in little like 3.5 inch, 2 little 3.5 inch pots 2 years ago, and now she is zooming everywhere. So she is absolutely a favorite this month. And if I don't have her fully in the shot, I will get a wide shot of her on this trellis because she is a beauty. And an honorable mention, because I couldn't pick just 6 out of my collection. This is a cute tiny baby pink princess. She is putting out a new leaf right now, which is incredibly exciting. I've been taking pictures of her, sending it to my friends, posting in the Facebook groups. I've been doing all the things for this little princess gal. I did wait a few years into the pink princess craze to finally get one at a decent price, but she put out this leaf in my care. It was unfurling as I collected her about a month and a half ago, and then now we do have this new leaf coming out, and I can already see some pretty solid pink coming out in this little unfurling here. So I'm excited to see if maybe she'll give me some more pink splashes or just kind of play around, see how this goes. But there is some really nice striping in the stem here on the second most recent cataphyll, which is very exciting. I think I am giving her a little too much light with this bleaching here. She does sit under some pretty intense grow lights, but other than that, she's pretty happy. This one has to be watered. The soil's getting a bit dry, but I did want to share her because she is adorable and I really like the little scraggly look of her, and I'm hoping to grow this out to a really beautiful big specimen. And or give cuttings to my friends because there is a pattern here. I love giving cuttings. Those are all the plants I have to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, be sure to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me. Follow me on socials. I have Instagram as Conscious Flower as well. And let me know if there's any topics or plant care or species you'd like me to show off. I would love to film a plant collection video. It would be a really fun one. And I'm so happy you joined me for this video today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Be sure to drink your water and take your meds. Alright, bye!